You talked about the removal of boundaries where there is free movement of goods
and services.
and services.
Yeah.
Are you now calling for like a common passport?
Africans need one passport. Why should Africans have different passports? You tell me. You are an African. And when we move around, we introduce ourselves with the colonial descriptions. If I ask you where you come from, you tell me you are Ugandan, right?
Yeah.
But I tell everybody I'm an African because I am an African before Uganda was created. And if all Africans know that and start referring to ourselves as Africans.
We are Africans.
Yeah, that would be a very big...
By tribe, by what?
No, not tribe, not anything, because that's where you come from. So you are an African. You are nothing else but an African.
So what does it take to
whoever you meet, wherever you introduce yourself, and people want to know where you come from, maybe they are colorblind, because once you see an African, you don't need to ask where they come from. But if they make a mistake and ask you where you come from, emphatically say you are an African, because that is what you are.
What does it take to have a common passport?
The African Union's responsibility.
Yes, I know that, but what does it take?
I said in the beginning, they give us a roadmap, an agenda, and engage, with technical people like us to support their work and guide them and help them. Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
They need to have a clear roadmap to say, okay, which one is the priority? And we say our priority is to create the African state. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
Because without that, and establish our sovereignty, avoid any form of interference from the UN, from the IMF, from the World Bank, from anybody, and focus on our continent and the resources that we have, and begin to develop the human capacity to transform these resources into wealth. That is our that should be our development trajectory. Because anything you do with external influence or interference or interventions takes away your sovereignty. And without sovereignty, you're not a state. You don't have that authority to control, to manage the integrity of your state. You're not sovereign.
So you have a common border, common boundary. You've removed all the other boundaries. You've gotten one passport, a common passport. Now you need money to do business because you're transacting anyway.
Yeah.
So
we shall do business with
that is calling for a common currency.
Yeah, exactly.
How can that be achieved?
It's just like I said before. All these things, once you put them in a program with a clear way forward, step by step, according to a time frame, the time comes you get it done. You just say from today onwards, Africa has one boundary.
That is declaration.
Then we wait, declaration. Then we wait for the time for one passport. We say since we are one country, one state, we need one passport, one immigration system, and they must be on the borders, on the oceans and.
On the oceans.
Yeah, of
going
course.
outside, going outside.
The airports, when they see people who don't look like us, they ask them what they are coming to do from here. Are you getting my point?
Yes. Now,
but for you and I to move within the continent, we don't need any permission from anyone.
I'm looking at the issue of currency as something which is a little bit disturbing.
How?
Because right now, of course, there is business being done.
Yeah.
And every colony, African colony, has its own currency.
Yeah.
So are you going to say from today onwards, we've banned your currency and let's use this common?
All currencies. And we create one currency. ECOWAS has been trying to establish the ECO.
The ECO?
Yeah, because
they don't... West Africa?
Yeah, because they have lost their sovereignty. It has not happened. All of us in West Africa are supposed to use one currency.
The ECO.
Which is named the ECO. But why is it not coming up? Because of external interference. Are you getting me? Just because of external interference. What does that external interference mean to us? It means we have lost our sovereignty.
How did they create that ECO?
No, it's just a matter of the central bank sitting together and say, yes, we need a common currency. and this will be its form. It should be called this, and this will be its basic value. Are you getting the point?
Yes, yes.
Now we are all going to cede our currencies for the eco, but just to print the eco and implement, the World Bank doesn't want to see that.
So how are you going to back our money with?
We have enough gold to back our currency with. If Africa chooses to have one currency, we have enough gold in Africa to back our currency. And I can assure you that the African currency will be the strongest. Because the British pound is backed by gold from Africa. Britain doesn't have a gold mine. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
The whole of Europe, the euro, whatever is backing the euro is from here. And we still have more than enough to back our currency. Then we can build a strong economy. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Let's stop lamenting and begin to look at the realities of our situation.
The East African community should borrow a reef from ECOWAS?
No, we don't need to waste time on this.
SADC?
We don't need to waste time going through all those things. All the creation of Kwame Nkrumah and Co. did not propose the creation of ECOWAS, SADC. These are external, influence choices.
The likes of East African community, likes of SADC.
Of course.
Oh, how is that? How is that?
No. What is wrong if we, instead of SADC and ECOWAS and East Africa, Kwame Nkrumah never talked about, in those days, they never talked about ECOWAS. They never talked about East African community. They never talked about SADC.
They wanted things the easy way.
They just said African unity. And it is clear. They did not say first unite as regions, then. That is just complete waste of time.
That was the disagreement, actually, that came up, during one of the conferences there.
I agree with you.
Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wanted
the whole
quick one. The whole continent get united.
Exactly.
Other leaders wanted to say, they say no, it has to be gradual.
No, where are they getting that from? And which one makes more sense? We want to unite the continent.
Now.
And we can get up and unite it now. Why do we have to go through families unite, then villages unite, then
we were already united.
We just have to move and unite this continent. European Union never first created,
So who was behind that, the integrationist thing? Like East Africa forming its own community, SADC, ECOWAS. Who was behind that?
Do you know that recently Israel wanted to sit in the African Union meetings?
Israel?
Yeah, and they were chased.
And do what there?
Yeah, you get the point. Yes. Now you have UN sitting in African Union meetings, you have European Union sitting.
They are the funders.
There. No, why do you need funds from these people? People who have survived on you, who developed their homelands because of your resources. Why should they sit in your meetings?
The miseducation.
No, why should they? What is the reason? Do you also sit in their meetings? We don't sit in their meetings.
I heard they are now inviting us as observers.
Not to observe what?
What are discussing?
Let us finish with our homework, establish our status. Then we will choose whether to go and observe or just continue doing our own things. Why are we so interested in outsiders and not interested in ourselves?
Now, after the currency, I do believe that for a country, or for countries or colonies to get together, they have to be with a common army.
Yeah.
A common army. You talked about that.
Yeah.
One army.
Yeah.
I'm looking at an African army.
Yeah.
Is that possible, really?
Yeah, everything is possible.
How?
If Europe and America combine to form NATO, why should we say that it is not possible?
So Africa should have...
we need one army, not to should have. We need to unify our military. We need to unify all our systems.
What does it take?
We were here when Gaddafi was attacked, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we had a unified army, you think NATO could have done what they did? You think it would just be a walkover? Would have targeted them, would have gone back. Fighting is fighting. You get the point. Fighting is not one-sided. If you attack me, I must defend myself. But what do we have to defend ourselves? We are not even united.